We don't drink vodka or anything.
It's
I was just saying it.
This may be the first time there's beer in the fridge, and there's all kinds of alcohol in the fridge. There's Cayman Jack. There's all kinds of stuff left over from. Lead the ship, and you'll know when I'm wanting you to talk. I promise.
See, I like that. That's being an executive right there.
We're live.
Do we know music first, though?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just announcing that we're live.
Julio used to rock out to this, too. Goins putting you to shame with his rocking out.
I'm going to give him that.
Wow, I just heard that.
You're listening to it.
Yeah, we're 3 weeks in, and we're here at the first episode of the Pivot season. What year are we on? 5?
5 or 6?
Do you remember, Juice?
I have no idea.
I think it's 4.
5? 4?
I think it's 4.
Okay, so episode 1, season 4, we'll call it.
Sure.
Okay. We have new additions to the show, which I'm excited to announce.
Plural?
Yeah, well, addition. New addition. I was just talking about computer. What were you talking about? We got a new
I figured
computer.
you counted me twice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we also have Goins. We got a new computer to help keep things going good.
I thought maybe you were talking about the man boobs.
Yeah, and then we got Mike Goins, a high school lifelong friend and fantasy genius. Specializes in the Keeper League Dynasty ranks. Is a little bit new to DFS, but has lots of opinions and will be fun to banter with. Correct, Julio? Juice, what do you think about Mike coming on board?
I'm very excited.
Before we let Mike talk about Mike.
I'm very excited. I was watching a middle school football game yesterday, and I thought about all you guys. I went back to the old stomping grounds, Casher Hall,
Yeah, so Goins
and
with
I was looking at the state championships, and Mike was an integral part of that with his hands and
I don't know about we now.
quickness and all that.
Now we're starting to have a little embellish, but yeah.
No,
The fish was this big.
I'm excited to have Mike. So
Mike was
cheers,
the
Mike.
fastest person I ever played high school football with by
Oh,
far.
wow.
Yeah, not even close. Also brought the sexy back to catching. If any of our friends are listening, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I got benched for that.
He didn't catch the ball. He caught he gave it to him when he caught the ball.
The extra
He-
skip.
little flair in the catch. Anyway, glad to have Mike on board. We are still brought to you by Mass Bank. Got to get used to where my yeah, there we go. And we're still executively produced to you by the other high school buddy, Toby Biocchini. So we are good to go for season 3. And anybody listening, thank you and welcome back. And let's go. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We ready to? As you guys know, we break down a DFS lineup. We're going to build you one. But first, before we do that, generally we would talk hindsight about the week before. But this is our first week, and we sucked the first 2 weeks. So we're just going to act like week 1 and 2 didn't really happen. And so I'm kind of glad we didn't flood you with our terrible picks either.
It's probably like a public service that we didn't do shows the first 2 weeks.
I think
to be
God
honest.
intervened and said
Yes.
we don't want these people to share their terrible fantasy picks week 1 and 2. But we got good ones for this week, right?
We do.
Right. The show lineup is usually my lineup, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, it was decently
I don't like the way
decent.
that sounded.
Well, I mean, like,
It's a
we build it together,
collaboration,
and that's
but
the one
it's
that I
lineup
use.
That you entered.
Yeah.
Well, yes, this
Okay.
past week.
This
was
last week it was definitely you.
It was just me, but I still scored the highest out of everyone in this room.
Well, that's saying a lot because I mean, that's an achievement, right?
That's
there.
like
Yeah.
being the tallest of the little people in the room.
Okay, so the first thing we generally do, Mike, is we usually hit this button, and then we talk about what games are being picked by Vegas to go over 50 points a game, because then we can figure out what games we're going to be focusing on for the week. Unfortunately, over the last several years, there haven't been many of these, and so there hadn't been a lot to talk about. How are we looking at week 3?
I'll let you all guess the number of 50-cent pieces there are this week.
I'm going to always go with 1.
2.
Goins, you gonna have your first guess? How many games are going over 50? Not how many you think you're going over 50. How many do you think Vegas picks?
The line's got going over 50. Well, we've got some pretty interesting matchups.
I'm glad you
gonna
know
go
them.
3.
He's already ahead of the game because he knows the matchups. I don't even know the matchups. So
I'm going to go 3.
Okay. Matt, do you want to pick which game you think is a 50-cent piece?
that would be assuming I know the games. I'll go Dallas, Baltimore.
That would be incorrect.
Oh,
Goins, since you know the matchups?
I don't know the matchups as far as the lines go.
You just
but
know there's
I know
interesting matchups.
Okay.
interesting matchups. One I like is Jacksonville and Philadelphia.
Do you think that's going to go over 50, according to
I
me?
think it could.
That was going to be my other guess. So.
You know what? Very close. 49.5.
I mean, ooh,
So,
shit.
I mean,
hold
I'm gonna
on. You're going to get the
Yeah.
first kid applause of the season goes to Mike
I'll
Goins.
take it.
I'm going to call it a push on the 49.5.
I mean, that was very close.
Is it Detroit, Arizona?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jared,
okay.
look at
well,
that.
Second one. Oh, well, uh-oh.
So Vegas thinks that is the marquee matchup in terms of points of the week at 52.5.
That's the game that Jared picked. He had 4 Rams going in that game last week. So,
Against Arizona, yeah.
yeah. You
On
like
the other side, he would have done really, really well.
Yeah.
Jared, known St. Brown fan. Is St. Brown going to be locked into the lineup, we think?
Well, he's a little injured,
Yeah,
so that's
true.
the only thing.
Who's not injured in this league right
we
now?
lost a lot of people we lost,
And everybody
You know
seems...
who's not injured? Derek Carr.
Yeah, he's looked really good.
He
He's
has.
available in most of your season-long leagues.
I think
I think we need to make a correction. I need to make a correction on something. Let's go back to the Jacksonville game.
Okay.
Because I said Philadelphia and Jacksonville, and they're not playing each other. It's Buffalo and Jackson, or that I was looking at.
I thought it was the Eagles Saints for some reason that you had.
So which one's 49?
Yeah, so
Let's
I just
clarify.
wanted to clarify that for the
We gave
listeners out there.
we're off to mid-season form already. So Eagles and Saints, to clarify, is 49.5.
all right.
The
Okay, so-
going special is the Jaguars and the Bills. On Monday night, it's 45.5.
Okay, still
But the
good.
actual answer to the original question,
Arizona, Detroit.
there's only
Arizona,
one 50-cent piece.
It's
So
Arizona,
Matt got it.
Detroit. No, I got it.
You both got it.
Did you say
both- you both
Detroit and
said one.
Arizona?
No, you both said one.
I
You
said one.
two. You said two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
right.
So
You're right.
good.
You're right.
Thank you for
You're right.
stealing my praise.
Wow.
Okay, so we move on.
Early auditing.
Do we want to go over any other totals? Just
Yeah, let's talk about some of the totals. What are some of the good games this week?
So
Let's let Goins talk. He's the one with all the good matchups. What are some of your favorite matchups, Goins?
You know, one I really like is Tampa Bay and Denver.
Okay. What's from a fantasy perspective? Which side of that are you obviously liking Tampa a little bit more than Denver?
It's in Tampa.
Okay.
I think their defense is going to hold up just enough. What I'm really intrigued with this week is, and I'm watching closely, and all of you guys should be watching closely as well, is whether or not Rashad White is going to be at full strength. If he's not, this is going to be a fun wiggle from a flex standpoint for the Buckster.
Bucky Irving out of Oregon. So, which are the games Vegas that Vegas likes?
So here's the deal. Mike's game is one of the lower projected point totals of the week at 39.5. But I like what he said. So
You like Tampa side of that, right?
I'm not poo-pooing it at all. Tampa's favored by 6.5. The Thursday night game, which we really don't care about, is another stinker at 38.5. Texans and Vikings is 46.
Not bad.
Chargers Steelers 35.5. Giants Browns.
You got to let the Ming Wolf get in there.
Yeah. Giants Browns 38.5.
I'll just keep hitting it.
Another nice total is the Monday night game, the Commanders Bengals at 48.
I like that one. Yeah. Okay. Well, not only do we guess who Vegas is going to like as far as team totals, we play a game over here going. It's called Guess the Chalk, and that's where Jared and I usually make fools out of ourselves because we try to guess who the top ownership is as of right now, which is early, right, for DFS. And it's really hard sometimes to figure out who some of these people are playing. So it'll be fun to get your guesses in this.
Jared, just let's get this out in the open. We're talking main slate only, okay? So
And
Got it.
no Sunday night, Monday night players.
There's no NBA players on
No
this
NBA
list.
players.
Who's that?
It's just-
Who's the guy that I love that I wish was in the NFL? Does anyone remember?
Darius Geis.
No,
No.
there's
What's
I
his
can
name?
think of his
It's on-
three-point shooting guard from St. Mary's. Played for San Antonio for a long time.
St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly?
No.
No.
I don't know.
Patty Mills.
That's it.
Patty
Mills.
Mills.
Patty Mills was a guess.
That's
at one
whenever
point. He guessed Patty Mills.
Atlanta had the Mills quarterback. I can't remember his
Yeah,
first
something
name.
like that. I don't know.
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills.
Yeah.
I called him Patty Mills.
Okay.
So I think you guys are going to suck this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess we're gonna.
Hey, we got a
suck.
question up there.
Already a question. Should we interrupt for the question?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here, Mike, since you let's let our dynasty expert take this first one. Mahomes or Burrow rest of season?
Ooh.
Great question.
You like that one?
Great question. Love this question. I'm assuming this is a redraft question.
If you can see his name better, tell me what his name is.
Quinn Lenardi.
But thank you for the question, Quinn.
We're just going to call him Q. Q for short, Q for the question. Mahomes or Burrow for the rest of the season? I got to go. I mean, I'm a homer. I'm a Chiefs fan. But I'm going with Patty only because of the rhythm that's being currently developed within the offensive system. I don't think they're going to miss a beat losing Pacheco, which I hate to say because I love Isaiah Pacheco. I think that kid's phenomenal.
Wow.
As far as Burrow goes, the lack of mobility, he's a great general on the field, certainly. I don't like the fact that they've been so uneven now up to this point with their receiving core. They're still trying to figure out the running game. Offensive line has been fine.
If I signal him, will that work?
I was gonna say we're gonna try to keep this under 3 hours.
With ROS, I go Patty Mahomes.
Okay, then a real quick question since you're a Chiefs fan. Who do you think the running back is that's going to replace Pacheco? Is it Steele or Hunt?
I think it's going to be, you got to
Isn't Steele from Tulsa?
Kareem.
And he's got some Tulsa connection? Or something?
Kareem is from OU.
You think he's going to get most of the action?
No, I'm thinking it's going to be truly a committee.
Okay.
I think that, I hated that they cut Hunt.
They may make Xavier Worthy the running back for all we know, right? Like
Maybe.
there's no telling what they're going to do.
I think it's going to be the way that it's been. I think you're going to have Perrine coming in on third down. Steele's going to be the first and second down thumper.
What's your thoughts on the Burrow Mahomes question? Just before we go back to guessing the chalk.
You know, I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Burrow. I think getting Higgins back is going to.
Is he officially back?
Well, I think he's likely to play this week.
Good to see him back.
I think that's going to help out. Burrow's kind of looked okay. Like last week, I think he scored 21 points, DraftKings. That's, again, without Higgins.
Mahomes didn't do much, right?
I like Yoshivas. Like the emergence of him is a big target in the end zone.
I like Gazeki. Seems to be
Gesicki seems to be fitting in there. So I don't know. I think he's got some weapons. I mean, I'm a homer too. I like Mahomes. But I think rest of the season, just from a points perspective, I'm going to lean slight Burrow.
Jared, break the tie, and we'll go back to guess the chalk.
I think Burrow, because even towards the end of last season, as far as like fantasy is concerned, Mahomes wasn't really like
There were
killing
some
it.
concerns about them last season going into the playoffs. They had lost to Oakland. They had lost to, Las Vegas. They had lost some games they lost to Green Bay. Anyway, Kansas City has a way of disguising their offense and saving it for the playoffs somehow.
But he might be better now because they lost Pacheco. They might be throwing the ball a lot more now.
Well,
so
we'll see.
I don't
Well,
know.
anyway, good question. If you got any more, hit us up. Back to guess the chalk. Let's quarterback. My guess for top-owned quarterback. Who did we say the high-scoring game?
Can I give
was?
you a hint?
Sure.
He's been mentioned already.
Ooh,
Oh, well.
that throws me because I'm going to go with Kyler Murray because that was on my mind.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, you got to go Mahomes. We haven't mentioned, but just a couple of quarterbacks so far, so I go Mahomes.
Well, who is? Tell us, Juice.
Number 1, Derek Carr.
Oh,
When did
well,
we
that makes
mention
sense.
I mentioned him just briefly about how well he's been playing.
I don't remember that.
I do.
I do.
It was a brief mention.
Oh,
Yeah.
But thank you for that's why you're here, is to police
Yeah,
Juice.
and to doubt me, to doubt what
Doubt,
I said.
doubt,
When I know I said
fact
it.
check. I mean, if you need
have video, proof that I said it.
It might have been in Spanish, and I just didn't understand it.
Okay, so number 2,
Who is number 2?
I don't think you're going to get this.
We didn't get the first one. for
Baker.
sure. I thought, or golf. I'm going to go golf.
Baker is 5th, so good job, Mike.
Mike made the top 5.
Is
Is Kyler not in the top 5?
Hold on.
I guessed him earlier, so that's why.
Skylar Thompson.
No. So Geno Smith is number 2. Kyler Murray is number 3.
Yeah, okay, see, I wasn't.
Okay.
I got
Well, that
a
makes
top, I
sense.
got top 5.
We got one soon.
Where's Skylar Thompson in that ranking?
He is
37.
way down the list.
I just thought maybe since he was cheap, people.
I'm glad the game didn't change at all. That you suck at
I was
it
trying to.
as
I
bad
don't-
as I thought. Skylar Thompson's a pretty terrible guess.
It was, but I was just,
Tyler Huntley will be
I
starting.
mean, it's great
Throwing
content.
darts.
Great content, bad guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as you all are just in mid-season form, I said originally, no Sunday night or Monday night players, and you all said Patrick Mahomes, who's playing on Sunday night.
Whoops.
So I wanted
Those
to
are
just,
those are little details that we
just little details.
miss out on.
But
We
no
don't
big deal.
claim to be professional.
Yeah.
Okay,
No big deal.
running backs.
Running backs. Okay. Let me see.
Let me go to running backs here.
I think you're going to do okay on this.
So we got expensive. Everybody's hurt.
I mean,
expensive.
guys, it's
Achan. Got to be number
okay.
one.
The
I got the obvious one. It's Kamara, right?
I thought mine
he's
was
up there. He's.
Goins, give us a
I
guess.
can't believe you guys aren't getting him more.
Well, Goins is getting.
Saquon Barkley would be my guess.
Okay, so you guys picked number 2 and number 3. Saquon Barkley is number 2.
Good job.
Achan is number 3.
Bad. Good job, me.
Kamara's not in there?
Really, Jordan Mason? You
Yeah,
guys-
I didn't think
Come on,
about
Oh,
guys.
Mason, that makes sense.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
Oh, and against the Rams? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still a free square, right? What is he? 5,800.
Yeah, he's still he's probably 2,000 too cheap.
Okay.
But Tony Pollard is number 4.
Is Mason a lock and load? Dare we say?
We'll see.
He's still pretty cheap.
I have some thoughts on Mason, but Aaron Jones, Charbonnet, Kamara, and Jahmyr Gibbs round out the top 10.
Okay. Let's talk receiver.
We have another question if we want to
Oh wow.
take it.
Another one. Hey, Goins, read that to us for us.
From Chaka.
Chaka? Is that
Chaka.
Love the name.
Hey, would you trade away Barkley for
nobody?
Devonta Smith, Ramondre Stevenson, Cooper, Ingram? What's that say? 3 wide receiver PPR, lost Cup to injury. Yeah, that's a brutal loss,
Ooh,
man.
that is a real loss.
But would you
still have-
trade away Barkley for? So, and it is PPR. Okay, thank you for
He
specifying
also
that.
added that he's getting Goddard.
And I'd be getting Goddard in
Wait, how many pieces is he getting for Barkley?
he's
A lot.
Fit all those?
hold on. He's getting 1 piece, 1.5 in Smith.
This
and
is a
Stevenson.
Goins back in the day.
Yes,
trade.
this is
like 17.
You wake up.
players for
You
one
wake
side.
up
So,
on a
what
Tuesday morning.
this guy
to-
is trying to do here is he's trying to sell you the dip in Cooper, and that's really all that it is. Devonta Smith was a smokescreen last week because AJ was out. But then again, if this
Smokescreen,
is
I like that. That's
if
the
this
language
is,
we're looking
if this is a redraft, can you specify if it's redraft or dynasty?
It's definitely a redraft.
If it's redraft, go for it, man.
Yeah, I think
if it's
he did.
redraft, go for it. If it's dynasty,
Barkley though might be the
I
most
don't-
valuable player in fantasy this year.
I agree, but I mean, just to have that insulation of production right there, it can't get worse for Cooper.
Jared-
Ingram's banged up.
What do you think? A bunch of
Well,
players for Barkley.
I don't know. It depends on who he has to replace Barkley.
Let's
Barkley's like a major piece right now.
Well, he's getting Stevenson back.
Oh, looks like he's
redraft.
gonna
Okay,
answer that.
redraft. I wish that there was
First of all, let's say, is it Chukka?
Chaka.
Thank
could
you.
get
Thank you
ri-
for the question and listening.
Yes, thank you, Chaka. You could get rid of Ingram.
Please like and subscribe.
Get
if you
rid of
haven't.
Ramondre.
No, he's getting Ramondre.
No, get rid of him though. Like take him out of the trade. Get another
Why
player
not
better.
Ramondre? I like Ramondre.
I like Ramondre.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Ramondre?
It's volume, man. I don't draft Patriot running backs.
Who is Ramondre
ever.
sharing carries with in New England?
He's a Sooner. I love him, but I'm not ever drafting.
I would say one of the more underrated Sooner running backs of all time.
I agree. I pulled the trigger.
I
He has
have-
Kamara also.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you have Kamara?
well, okay.
If you have Kamara, then you can afford that trade.
Yeah.
Tell me this is a 12-man league so I can tell you
Yeah,
congrats on winning
if
this.
this is under a 12-man league, I might throw up. But
Yeah. If it's a 12-man league, you're just going to win.
if it's
so.
a 12-man league, you're winning.
For Smith, Ramondre, and
Cooper.
Cooper. Oh, Amari Cooper. Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
guys, my phone died when you said between Mahomes.
we the vote was Burrow at the end.
It was
The
2 to 1 Burrow.
2-1 Burrow.
2-1 Burrow.
And thank you again for listening. Please like and subscribe if you
Yeah.
haven't already.
Yes.
And tell your friends. Tell your friends, please.
You guys are great, though. Thanks for the questions.
Yeah, more questions. We'll fill them as you bring them. And we're back to talking wide receiver chalk, right?
Yes. And I will tell you that the number 1 receiver has been mentioned thus far.
Goins fact check this, okay? You got this. Make sure he's.
All right. Well, I think this one's going to be easy, but I'll let everyone.
No, you go ahead. I mean, since you got this.
You said he's been mentioned. It was brief, so it must be Monroe St. Brown.
Amon Ra.
And I don't believe we mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Did he
We
say-
did.
Did
I
you say
talked about
Amon-Ra?
his love
Yeah,
for.
you did say Amon-Ra.
I talked about his.
White can you say?
But I'm going to mess up lots of names.
What just
Okay,
happened?
I'm going to
Monroe?
screw up
This is like
so
his
many
favorite
names.
player, by the way. You know that?
And
This guy he
this
recognizes-
is my
know that I
favorite
can get
player,
over this.
Amon-Ra St.
That was a
Brown. I
great
know how to
pick.
say it. My
Amon-Ra.
brain was just like
Amon Ra. Say it with
wrong.
me.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now I'm all in my head.
I might
Goins
have to
wins
walk out.
line of the year so far, asking you how
Amon-Ra
white.
St.
How
Brown.
white can you say?
Am I doing it right yet?
Amon-Ra.
I really don't care. I like that you
Ramen
say
St.
names.
Brown.
Ramen.
That certainly wasn't it.
I haven't had dinner, man. You're making me hungry.
Okay, so St. Brown wasn't it.
No.
Okay.
Well, was he up there?
And he was briefly mentioned Tyler Johnson.
No.
That's a good guess.
Was
He's
St. Brown
cheap.
in the top 5?
Come on.
Tyler Johnson is cheap, right? Where's Tyler Johnson? So I'm getting berated.
I
15.
don't see him.
Yeah.
To be
Okay.
honest.
Then your guess, Goins.
My guess for
I understand.
receiver,
I have the bone.
most owned receiver.
I have the buttons here. I haven't said anything yet.
Really?
My-
Oh, we need the crickets button.
On
That's what
Jeopardy,
need.
we would have heard that.
Most owned receiver. I mean, my guess would be Malik Neighbors.
Okay, who? That's actually probably a good guess.
He was in the trade proposal, Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Oh.
I wouldn't see why. Oh, I guess with AJ Brown out.
Yeah.
Okay.
He got a lot of run this past week, man. I mean,
If you have Smith, this is when you sell high.
yeah.
He had 10 targets.
Do you guys want to guess top 5? Keep going.
Yeah, let's hear it. Or I'll guess one more. Harrison Jr.
He is, I think, 7th. if
Okay.
I'm reading
See, I
this
got
right.
better. I got better.
that was
See,
better.
You improved.
6th, actually. 6th.
Beat that.
Rashid Shaheed.
Good guess, but no. He's probably, I'd say, 15 or
You
16.
did beat it.
I didn't beat
Closest to the
Jared?
hole so far.
Nico Collins.
10th.
Still closest to the hole.
it. I don't like the closest to the whole comment.
What?
It just seems wrong.
I got closest to the right answer.
I know, but just the way it came out, it doesn't sit well.
Again, I'm going to keep repeating. This is a family show, Mike.
You were bringing this
yeah.
to places that
Yeah.
I'm
it-
not going.
I'll give you guys a hint for number 2.
Mike Evans.
No. I'll give you a hint.
I can say things too. Lamp.
Right. I don't know.
He's been
Fair.
He's been
Is Lamp on the list?
The most explosive offense thus far in the NFL through 2 weeks.
Who is the most explosive
that-
offense?
That's the Saints, right? So
So
there you
we
go.
already guessed you.
Chris
Oh,
Olave?
Not Shaheed. Chris Olave is number 2.
Wow. See, I would have never guessed that.
I thought that Shaheed
Is he pretty? Is Olave pretty cheap this week?
6,300.
That's not bad.
That's
not
not
bad.
bad.
And then you mentioned number 3 in
Neighbors.
the receiver in a game that you like this week.
I did. I said a receiver. In a
Well,
game.
the game that intrigued you a lot this week.
Was
Tampa and Denver.
Yeah, you're on the right path.
So it has to
Godwin.
be
Godwin. There you
yeah,
go.
he had massive volume last week.
Man, I have never owned him. Never wanted to own
He,
him.
he's another one that I never pressed that button
No.
for some reason.
But
Yep.
he's Mr. Consistent.
Yeah,
And he's healthy again because last year he was kind of bad.
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever started him in a DFS lineup ever.
he's gotten over 22.3 fantasy points every week so far. Well, there's only 2 weeks, but he's
Godwin's a good one.
I'm going to round out the top like 6 or 7 here. So Deontay Johnson, number 4.
I was surprised Malik Neighbors didn't make it.
No, thank you.
You got it, Chaka. Love the
DK
name.
Metcalf, number 5. Marvin Harrison, 6. Jameson Williams, number 7.
Okay,
Tank
Sell high
Dell,
on
number
Jameson.
8. I love Tank Dell this week.
heard a lot of good stuff about Tank Dell.
Mike Evans, number 9, and Nico Collins rounds out the top 10.
So why do you love Tank Dell this week?
I think he's due. It's a squeaky wheel type thing, but I just think they're going to try and get him integrated in the
Seems like
offense.
it. He had
Wait, Tank's been a squeaky wheel since
No,
when?
no. I'm saying they're gonna feed him the ball because they've put more of an emphasis, it seems, on getting Nico and Diggs involved in the first couple
Well, you got
weeks.
2 guys, Diggs and Tank, that play a relative position.
Mm-hmm.
Nico's the only one that plays a completely black and white position to what their roles are. The squeaky wheel inherently is always Diggs. That guy just never shuts up.
He got 2 touchdowns week 1 though.
True. I guess what I'm saying is I think they're going to make a concerted effort to get him more involved in the passing game. That's what I mean by that.
he had a pass bounce off his hands where there was no one between him and the end zone. this
Sounds
last
like you
week.
might own Tank Dell on some season long.
I think the beautiful
I
thing
do.
about Houston is that
In
they
one.
don't have to force anything.
I agree.
They can literally let the growth of and evolution of their offense come to them because they have Tank Dell. right?
And they have Stephon Diggs, and they got
they've got
Mixon,
Nico.
and they've got Nico. I mean, they've
Nico,
got a lot
who
of
is
weapons.
like, alpha wide receiver one.
It's
right
going to
now.
be it's from a fantasy perspective. Each week, Houston's going to be a tough call.
Here's
right?
the other thing, though, Mike. Like it's a salary world. I'm a salary cap type of girl, and he's
just called yourself a
he's
girl?
$5,200. He's dirt cheap, and if he gets in the box once, he's going to pay off that salary. So I just like Tank Dell. I think
Also,
he's-
him and Stroud are best friends, so I mean, eventually it's got to happen.
I didn't know. That's a little fact. That's the fact that the
this is a deep cut, right?
youngins
Yeah.
are bringing us or that.
Deep cut.
Literally, Stroud was being interviewed once, and they asked him who's his favorite wide receiver in the NFL, and he said Tank Dell.
Oh well. Okay. Well, let's move on to tight ends real quick, and then we'll start building a team.
Oh, I've got the team.
We got defense too, right? You want to do?
We can do defense.
We can
too.
do defense.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Let's do tight end though.
Let me move to
I
tight.
think you guys are going to do okay.
I'm gonna go with Bowers.
Boom, number one.
Boom. See, Mike, that's how
It's
it's
because
done.
why do you always let him go first?
I don't always go
That's
first.
who I was going to pick. Look, boom,
Okay, so Mike and I
He's
both
got
got it
proof.
right.
So
I
why
have
do you guys
proof.
like Bowers? Let's go through this.
because he is the dynasty fantasy football DFS tight end number one.
And,
already.
and he's got a good price still.
And he's got a great
He's-
price.
he's still cheap.
5,400.
He's still too
5,400.
cheap.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's kind of expensive for a tight end,
Ridiculous.
but I
Okay.
mean,
Let's
So,
just
Mike,
be
would you
honest.
consider Bowers a wide receiver, basically, right? He lines up in the slot 90% of the
What's
time.
his designation?
Tight end.
Then why are we having this conversation?
Because I'm saying if he's 50, if you'd consider him a wide receiver, 5,400 makes him
just teasing.
dirt cheap. I'm trying to show
it
out his
is
value.
No, it is. No, you can't ignore. You have to ride this Bowers wave while you have the
If
price
he's
point.
if he starts getting touchdowns, he's going to be incredible. Because if you pair volume with red zone,
He's a priority pick every week until
think-
it goes over 6.
I think I heard a stat that he's through the first 2 weeks of his season, he is the most targeted rookie tight end in NFL history.
Yep.
That's saying a lot. With
he's got
Laporta.
17 over the last 2 weeks.
That's a lot.
That's
but
a
they're,
lot.
But they're against Carolina. Don't you think this game's going to get out of the hand, and then he's not going to get anything?
No, I think he'll probably help get it out of hand, and then he'll pay off and go sit on the bench. And
They have nothing. That's the problem.
I don't know that I'm
They
going to
just
play
have
him this
nothing.
week, but
I mean, he moves the chains. He's good in short. He's good in long. I mean, he's
I mean, they've
RAC.
got Devontae Adams. I mean, it's
Well,
not they don't
but,
have nothing.
but you have to have design throws for him. Other than outside from a running back standpoint, they got nothing.
No, you're right. I think Devontae Adams, having him
Yeah.
helps him a
Oh,
lot.
sure.
tremendously,
Absolutely.
right? So
Absolutely.
should we consider our Zamir White ownership dead if you have it? I mean, it's,
I'd take the L on that.
On
Probably.
I mean, I think he's going to have a good week this week. I think they're going to run the ball a ton.
Toby and I disagreed on one player in drafting teams this year, and it was White, and I pushed for White on a couple teams, and he has been terrible.
I love
Yeah.
Zeus. Zeus in college was the man. I picked him up in Devi.
Is Zeus's Zamir White's nickname?
Yep.
Okay, just for the, I know that. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
mean-
that was his nickname. He was a 5-star recruit. He before he got hurt, he was it.
Yeah, he played. He was a
just-
good college back.
They haven't you know he's just, it is what it is.
Okay, so we got number one out of the way. What are the 2 through 5 on guess the chalk here?
I'll give you guys a hint. I love giving hints.
It's their guesses. I already hit this home run on this one, so if they want to guess 2 through 5,
This
they're
tight
welcome to.
end had a mini resurgence last week. He was being written off for dead after week 1.
Laporta,
Zach Ertz.
Nope.
McBride,
Hunter Henry.
McBride.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell us.
Mark Andrews.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Everyone was
Boomer
on the
Sooner.
everyone was on the likely train. Like he was the play for the rest of the year. And what did Mark Andrews do? Came in and was Mark Andrews. So he's number 3.
Okay,
Trey McBride is coming in.
I love Trey McBride, Colorado State Ram, baby.
He's been phenomenal. I played this guy last week and he got me a big fat 0, and that would be Foster Moreau.
Yes,
Number 4.
yeah.
Didn't like what you did there.
Yeah, and then Kylan Granson.
He's good. We brought him in just for you.
Is this too late to rethink that? And then number
Amigos,
5, Kylan Granson.
Oh,
I don't
interesting.
didn't even know that Kylan would be worth playing this
I
week.
didn't either, but I think it's just the salary.
Okay, let's
Pure
go over
salary play.
defense real quick because we need to get to building a team here pretty quickly.
Yeah, we got time.
I got
Oh,
one.
do we have time?
Do
It's
I
only
get
6:30.
Do I get to
Okay.
go first on the defense?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
49ers.
They are not in the top 15.
That was a good guess. I'm
I
glad
would-
you bullied your way in here. And get
But
it.
I would take them, boys. It's $3,500. they play against the Rams, the hapless Rams, who is putting out a bunch of scrubs at the receiver position. This is a great opportunity for them to earn their money on this play.
I honestly do like the call.
I do think it's a good defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this week. Good call. So you'll learn, Mike, it's going to be one of these cheap defenses, though, that's probably going to be number one.
3,500 is cheap.
No, not in fantasy. Not in the
relative,
DFS world. Let me teach you about cheap.
Okay.
Cheap would be the $2,400 Falcons.
Mm.
Not even close.
Against Kansas City,
I wanted to
pass.
be bad because I
Hard
wanted
pass.
to show make Jared feel better when he does it. He nails it.
Now, remember one of the caveats originally. We are only on the main slate, Matt.
Oh,
They
did
are-
I just
they are
guess?
Sunday nights.
Okay.
See? Doesn't count.
What about the Seahawks?
No.
Okay.
Skylar Thompson?
Truly have no idea. Yeah.
Not a bad call.
I was gonna say that seems like a good call. to
Yeah.
me.
I will say that Skylar Thompson is more of a running quarterback, so there'd be less opportunities for interceptions and things like that. But
So
not
give
a
us
bad call.
1 through 5.
I mean, you guys are really like. It almost feels like you're not watching the NFL through the first 2 weeks. The New Orleans Saints at $2,600. I mean, they are lighting the world on fire.
They're doing that through their offense.
They are, but they held the Cowboys to 19 points.
I'm not counting on that week in, week out. That's a complete dice roll.
Okay, I mean, I guess 2 weeks is not any sample. That's fine. But they're playing Philly, which is not a great matchup. But again, I think it's a price play, $2,600.
I like it.
I'm not saying I'm playing them. I'm saying they're the number one projected owned defense. Number two, do you guys want to guess or want me to just go through them?
Keep going through.
Tennessee Titans, 2,700 against the Green Bay Packers.
They're going to get smoked.
Tampa Bay, 3,000 against Denver. I like that a little bit.
I like that a lot.
I like number 4 maybe the most. Chicago against Indy.
Hey, I noticed that they're averaging 15 points per game.
Their
Chicago.
defense has been legit
Yeah.
so far this
Who,
year.
Indy's defense?
No,
Chicago's.
That's going to be a dirty game. I wouldn't want any piece of that game. On either
But
side
then
of
you
the
probably
ball.
want the defense if
Yeah,
it's
you
going
want
to
the
be.
defense.
Maybe you want the defense.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Bears fan, so I mean, I dig it. You guys hush.
I don't think anyone.
You guys
really
are
cares
gonna
about
come to find out that Goins has a numerous amount of teams.
Yeah.
I have 2
Ah.
teams. I have the
That-
Bears
yeah,
and the
yeah.
Chiefs, one from each conference.
Doesn't he love the Broncos? I thought he loved the
What?
Broncos too.
No,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
the one from northern Colorado. not
But
me.
I still thought you were a huge Broncos fan. Maybe that was your Trey Frank. Anyway, you'll find out that Goins loves a lot of teams.
2 teams.
Chicago?
We haven't even started
and the
Kansas
Chiefs.
City.
the college football teams, so there's plenty of
Yeah.
those.
We don't have enough
There's
show
2
to go
teams.
through that list.
There's Tulsa and OU.
Florida State, USC. We've gone through all kinds of them over the years.
Montana. I mean, whatever. So
Montana.
we got the Rams rounding out the top 5. The Vikings, Dolphins, Cardinals, Colts, and Lions. The top 10.
Okay, who cares about defense?
Yeah, let's move over to my favorite part. Let's start making some lineup. Let's start talking about guys that we got to lock into the lineup. Right?
I don't think Chaka and Quinn care about defense. Let's get into
they
some
want
meat
to.
and
They want to hear the
potatoes.
good stuff, right? They want to see us build a lineup. That's what everyone comes for,
Yeah,
right?
that's what they come. They come for the goods.
Okay, Jared. As we all know, the show lineup is your lineup. We let
Yep.
you interject people often, and you often take up that opportunity several times, sometimes
Yep.
per lineup.
I believe we call that an insertion. No,
Insertion? Yes,
Yeah,
I
not
insert my
interjection.
picks.
What are we talking about?
you'll catch on.
Anyway, you usually lead the way with lock and loads. You got one. I can't wait. What do you? I'm getting distracted by him. What's your lock and load for this week?
I
We need a Goins mute button on the mic too. That's something.
well, we can mute him here,
went
but we
from
can't mute him in
insertions
real
to
life.
lock
We
and
so-
need to
load.
go in extraction button is what we need.
I got distracted. I got a text. Yeah.
Oh, crime and
We need a security button. Security. Okay, so we're lock and loading, and Jared, we're letting you lead off.
I mean, I really like St. Brown this week.
All right, so why don't you say the full name so Goins
Yeah,
can give you
say
a
the.
hard time.
I can't.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Not Aquinas.
That was an improvement.
Yeah, he did good.
I thought so. So, what are your thoughts from the gallery on St. Brown?
I think he got 19 targets last week.
That's a lot.
They're in a game that they have to win, so I think they're going to throw in the ball a lot again. And it's Arizona. Arizona is not that great at the defense, so he's definitely going to be involved And it looks like his injury is basically nothing because he's not even questionable anymore.
And how much does he cost?
He's 8,200.
Okay. Juice, thoughts?
I like that game. I think a lot of people are going to be on Kyler this week. I would like to be a little contrarian and go the Goff route personally. So I mean, I would not be opposed to pairing him with the Amon-Ra St. Brown. However, the 8,200 price tag, it's going to be tough because I don't think there's a lot of like
Cheap plays.
this week. So we have to have a lot of conviction. I almost wouldn't mind Jameson Williams in lieu of Amon-Ra St. Brown, just for the price savings. But I mean, I do like the Detroit side. I think they need to win this game.
Goins, thoughts?
This game's going to come down to the performance of Goff.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
are you projecting good performance or bad performance?
I'm projecting Arizona wins, number
Okay.
one.
Okay.
I like that call.
Number two, I definitely would be starting Jameson Williams. I think that Detroit's going to be playing from behind. There's too much of an even balance offensively in Arizona. Kyler's playing at a premium. Harrison Jr. is coming on. You know, of course, he got shut out last week in the second half, but that was by design, by the defense, of course. There's too much to like about Arizona right now. I think they're starting to steam up a little bit. Detroit, I think, is in a must-win situation. They're playing in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
So
game is at Arizona, afternoon game, which
so, again-
generally higher scoring.
this comes down to Jared Goff's performance, and they're going to be blanketing Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Thoughts
all
on
game long.
Williams, Jared?
I like Williams.
I like them both.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could play them both, we'll see how. Let's go with Williams and Goff, right, as our pairing. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Juice?
You can try and make it work.
I mean, we can try.
No, I went with Williams.
What is Goff?
6,500, I believe.
I went with Goff and Williams, not Goff and St. Brown.
Oh, okay. Goff and Williams.
Juice, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
The team that I've built for this week is part of that. It's actually, I got Kyler and Williams.
Kyler and Williams. I think Kyler's going to be very highly owned. That's the other thing we just got to take into consideration.
Sure.
I think so. I think a lot of people are going to be all over this game, and we always say quarterback play whoever you want because
Right.
the ownership is typically spread out. Kyler is 9% owned. Goff is half the ownership at 4%. I like that a lot more. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a 50% increase in ownership.
So do we want to run it back with anybody from Arizona?
Yeah, I'd love to. I would love running back with McBride.
I like McBride. Jared?
Sure.
thoughts?
Yeah. I
He's
like
due.
McBride.
McBride is due a big
He's the
game.
most expensive tight end on the slate.
What is his price?
6,200.
I'm still starting Bowers at 54 over him, but he's also probably a
We
popular
potentially
pick.
could still start Bowers in the flex.
In the flex,
if we
that's
need
true.
to.
That's why I asked you if you would consider Bowers a wide receiver because we
you
can
could.
play him anywhere.
That's a
if we
good
do.
question.
Okay, let's talk running back. I like what we built so far. So we've got Goff, Williams, and we ran it back with McBride.
So right now, just so we're on the same page, we have average remaining 52.50.
Correct.
Let's pick defense so we can free up some salary.
All right. Goins is going to go with the Niners,
Yep.
which is I have no problem with. Would be I think a Niners Mason pairing would be actually a pretty good play this week. Thoughts?
I like it.
So Goins, I know you're a little bit new to DFS, so just a little bit of insight is a lot of times pairing your defense with a running back makes sense mathematically because if you're keeping low scoring from the other team, generally you're running the ball. So
Sure.
that's why I suggested Mason and the defense because we're getting a lot of savings on Mason for what his true value is and it allows us to maybe pay up a little bit at defense.
I can see that. What's Mason at?
54, right? Or 56? What do we?
That's not bad.
Jared or Jordan Mason?
62.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
62.
62. Okay, still not bad.
he's
then.
still way too cheap for what he's done. That $1,000, I think it's going to go a long way somewhere else.
You talking about if we save
Yeah.
and play down on the defense?
Yes. Because I just always think defense is somewhat of a crapshoot, right?
We used to do the cheap defense of the week. Remember?
I still
Yeah.
like Chicago, Indianapolis. Richardson looked awful last week.
He did.
That was just a bad game, man.
True.
He's going to get Downs back this week. I don't know. Where's that game at?
Indianapolis.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, the one thing I can say about the Colts are they're going to score 30 at home almost all the time.
I would stray from, and I'm a Bears fan,
but
but
I don't mind
from
them.
Chicago.
I like it. I think mathematically them scoring 15.
You said the
points a game.
Saints was the number 1 pick this week as far as like
They
the
are.
consensus.
I don't like the matchup against
I
Philly.
don't like that either. No.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put the Bears in just as a price-saving defense that's already averaging
Okay,
15
we
points.
could always change it up.
Yeah. If we have extra, I wouldn't mind bumping up to San Fran.
I don't need to pair that defense up with anything like in terms of running back.
No.
It's fine.
I mean, Chicago did hold Houston to under 20 points. So, I mean,
They have a good defense. There's no question.
so like even if they're at Indianapolis, I think they're still going to be pretty good.
I'm good with it. Okay. Favorite running backs? Is there
So now we're back up to 5,700 at salary.
correct?
Well, maybe not.
Can we do? Are we using Monday night?
We can
We
use Monday.
can. We can use Monday night.
I've got ETN.
Okay.
I like him this week.
Etienne at 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
I like Achan also at 7,000.
Yeah, I love H-Chan.
I feel like the whole offense is going through him right now.
He just makes me so nervous, man.
He's
He's a flex guy.
I'll give you that.
He's very feast or famine.
He
I
really
agree with
is.
that.
I give you
agree.
that. Anytime you click the Achan button, you never know if it's going to be a 0 or a 38.
Well, the last 2 weeks he's gotten 7 targets both weeks.
That's the reason I like
The first week he had 10 rushing attempts. The second week after Tua went down, he got 22 attempts on rushing.
yeah.
And so they're going to have Skylar Thompson this week, no Tua.
I
You'd
do
think that
agree
his-
with Mike that Etienne is due a big game, and Buffalo
Tank is banged up.
gives up the run.
Yeah, I like ETN too. I
That's
like
a
them
tough
both.
call. I think those are both really good $7,000 plays. I also don't mind Mixon, but Mixon's a little more banged up. Also, Cook coming off a great game, 3 touchdown performance. He's also in that same price range. It's weird because all the running backs are kind of that anybody would consider right now are all kind of that 7K range.
I'll tell you a guy I like. We're kind of getting really invested in this game, but I almost don't mind is James Conner at 6,600 Arizona.
I don't think we can play too much of this game, right?
Well, it's the highest scoring game.
I mean, he's just
That's what I'm
been
saying.
so involved in the
Yeah.
offense this year. I mean, 21 and 16 carries, and then 3 and 1 targets. I don't know. I still think he's just too cheap.
Hasn't Detroit been pretty good against the run?
I like it, but so while we're doing this, we talked about this, and I'm kind of itching to do it. What about Bowers in the flex?
I like it.
5,400, and he's going to get 10 targets almost for sure. Saves us a little bit of money out of the flex. I like our price where we're at. So we got a running back and 2 wide receivers, and we're at 5,600 apiece.
Real quick, Matt. What do you think though? One player up from Bowers, George Kittle.
No.
If Debo's out.
Kittle's another button that he's someone I can honestly say that I don't ever play in DFS, but I'm not saying that's a good thing by me. I'm just saying I don't seem to have any ability.
I mean, if Debo's out, it's Ayuk and Kittle
And
in
Mason.
the passing game. Mason's got, I think, 1 target
the whole time.
through the first 2 games.
Yeah, he doesn't get involved in the passing game.
I like Kittle, but I also like Bowers.
I like them both.
I like the Bowers way too much. I'm not a Kittle guy.
I almost maybe instead of McBride, we go Bowers and then Kittle, and then put Connor in at running back.
That works for me too.
What do you think,
I'm fine.
I
with
like
that.
it. The
Mike? What do you think about that?
Got your
Sure.
back.
I don't like going so heavy in one game, but
The theory
I
behind
get
that,
it.
though, is
But we took out somebody, so we only have 3 players now. We have Goff and Williams, who we've paired up wide receiver,
okay.
and then we're running it back with Connor.
yeah.
And McBride.
No, we took
No,
McBride
we
out.
took
Took
McBride out.
Oh,
We-
so just Connor.
Yeah, we're playing
We're putting,
Bowers and
Okay.
Kittle.
Kittle in.
Yeah,
We need to make that a little bit.
I can get behind that.
we can.
There we go.
It's just 2
Maybe
of
even a
them.
little bit bigger.
I mean, on a screen, it's going to look way bigger than that.
I know, but I'm saying for our sake, so that Mike can see who we got in and whatnot.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So, where do we go from here, Juice? I like where we're going.
So let's go through the lineup again as I type everything in. So we got Goff and Connor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Williams, Bowers, and Kittle, and then the Bears, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that
need a
leaves
running
us
back
with
and 2 receivers.
5,800, a running back and 2 wide receivers. Okay.
We only have 5,800 left.
We have
Per
58
player.
per
Per
player.
For 3 spots.
For 3
Okay.
spots. So,
Rashid Shaheed, 5,300. Keon Coleman, 4,800. Xavier Worthy, 6,000.
do you think we're chasing with Shaheed, or do you think that's legitimate?
I think it's legit in that matchup. Absolutely. Home against Philly in the Dome. They're going to be anchoring on Olave all game. Kamara's going to do Kamara. Shaheed, I'm telling you, at 5,300, that's gravy.
Yeah, I like him. The only thing that I'm scared of is he doesn't actually get a lot of targets. It's like 4 last week. I mean, but if he gets the ball one time.
He's very efficient with his targets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts on Shaheed? Can we, if we play Shaheed, can we run it back with Barkley? Can we afford that?
I mean, we probably could. I also kind of like Tank Dell at 5,200. I mean,
Well, we got 2 wide receiver spots. How much can we?
do we just go dirt cheap and get a Rams receiver?
Who does Houston play?
Houston?
They're playing Minnesota.
in the Dome.
I'd go Tutu Atwell if I was going with.
You think he's going to have a good game for the Rams?
I like him out of the ones that are left.
You think he's going to be more involved than like Tyler Johnson?
Yeah, he plays a different role.
Atwell's got to be dirt cheap, right? I mean, Atwell would be like 3,200.
43.
43. Okay, that's more than I thought he would be.
I mean, there's also buzz on this Whittington kid.
From Texas.
I
I like
on
him.
On the
Jordan,
Rams.
yeah, Jordan Whittington.
He's 4,200. That's not so cheap. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to pay that much
Yeah.
for that guy.
What
I
about,
do agree that I agree that playing a Saints receiver makes sense this week.
what about
'Cause
Keon Coleman?
the Eagles are terrible?
He got zeroed last week. They're
Oh, I
playing
love that.
Jacksonville.
I love that call. Because he played, even though he got 1 target, I think it was. He played 96% of the snaps.
Who,
So
Keon?
yeah, Keon.
I like him at 4,800 at home on Monday night against Jacksonville.
I literally in my head was saying, please remember to mention him. So I love that call. He's 4,800 against Jacksonville. I think I like that.
Really, I think we're playing Keenan Coleman.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right, what about the Etienne run back?
Sure.
I don't.
So if we go with
Look.
Tank Dell and Coleman, we have 7,400 for that running back spot.
Oh, you would Tank that? So you already put Tank.
Well, I did. I don't know. We don't have to.
Let's put in
Coleman.
no. I'm sorry.
Shaheed.
ATN and see what we have left at receiver.
We have 5,600, which would fit Shaheed. Would also fit Dobbs or McLaren, who I have no interest in.
Coleman. Worthy, 6,000.
We can't get Worthy in there.
We can only go. We have Coleman in. We can only go up to 5,600.
Oh.
Would anyone be interested in a receiver at 5,400 that had 17 targets in week 2?
Sure.
That's Smith's Debich or whatever his name
Smith
is.
and
I'm not going to try.
Smith.
It's a family show.
Yeah.
Jackson Smith Najigba.
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I like it. I think he's a great.
Ride the wave.
I don't know, but I really like the Tank Dell call too. I mean, I'd do that. I like Smith.
I like picking players' names that Jared can't pronounce.
Which is almost
there's
90%.
about-
you could-
about
98% of
90%.
You got a pretty good chance of finding players I can't pronounce.
Keenan Coleman was a struggle.
Oh, wasn't?
Keon Coleman. It's Keon.
What did I said? I didn't
It's not
mess that up.
Keon, It's Keon.
I was joking.
Did I say Keon? I
No,
have no
you did
idea.
not.
Well, we'll roll it back. We'll see.
I like Smith and Jigman. I like Tank Dell. That gives everybody a chance to be.
Now,
Rockstar.
one other guy that we haven't really talked about, but it's been getting a lot of buzz, Dynasty guy, Brian Thomas Jr., BTJ. I mean,
like
he's cheap too. He's
He
$4,900
is
bucks.
cheap, but Lawrence sucks.
He does, but I think he's the number 1 guy right now in Jackson.
He is. Seems like it. I love Brian Thompson.
If we don't play Etienne, I wouldn't mind playing Barkley and playing down at that other receiver spot too.
So like what we do? What what was it? Out of the ones that we said, who was it? Was Tank Dell the cheapest, or which one was it?
I can't remember.
I mean, what about Kamara?
I like Kamara too.
I mean, there's nothing
running-
not
that-
to like about Kamara
there-
right now.
Right now, I think that running back decision between Etienne, Achane, and Kamara and Cook is kind of where I'm at. I think you're picking between one of them.
I think out of those, Achane's probably my favorite right now.
I think Achane's going to get the most volume. I don't know if he's going to be the most efficient.
Especially this week.
I don't know. Kamara could get he gets so much to himself. I don't know. That's a tough call.
You got a quarterback that can't get the ball to the receivers. You got a tiny, undersized, injury.
Who are you talking about?
Talking about Miami.
Okay.
What do you think the defense is going to be focused
I
on?
would agree that I mean, if they can't take out Achane,
They're going to be monitoring the flat.
Aren't they going to do a lot of short passes to Achane? That's my thought. They're not going to go down the field. They're probably going to dump it off to Achane a bunch.
It's going to be a lot of short routes, a lot of dig routes, a lot of dig and goes. I mean, the volume could be there, but the defense is going to be playing press. 4-3 defense, easy.
So is Tyreek
Maybe
Hill
even
going to have a
5-2.
huge game then?
Who?
Tyreek Hill, if they're going to
No.
be focusing on the run?
I wouldn't play Tyreek Hill. Not whatever.
You're thinking Miami's going to get shut down.
I think Miami's going to get slapped around this week.
I do think they're going to get beat pretty good this week.
I agree. I'm
And
not,
next
I'm not
week,
on Miami.
Tyler Huntley is going to be the starter in Miami.
I think that's probably fair.
I would be very open to not playing any Dolphins this week and seeing what happens.
I
agree.
like that idea.
So then what, is Etienne who you put in there?
Yeah.
In that spot? And then who is the other, who is the...
I put Smith and Jigba, but we have options. We could go Tank Dell. You can go.
I mean, I love Kamara. Everything I've seen so far,
You got to keep in mind, Njigba is still the wide receiver 3.
so
yeah.
if we go to Kamara, he's a little more expensive.
he is more expensive, but I like some plays in this price, this 5,100 price range. I mean, we could pay a little bit less, maybe get Tank Dell.
I think...
Robinson is available for the Rams.
Yeah, I like Ross.
Lad McConkey, who knows? BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr. is available. Tyler Johnson, we talked about.
The boom in that range is BTJ. He's the boom.
So
Agree.
I think that's kind of where the pivot is this week. It's whether you want to go up to Kamara and down at receiver, if you want to stay around Etienne and go up a little bit.
If I was picking, I'd pick Tank Dell out of...
I would right
this
now.
one.
If I was picking, I'd take Etienne and Smith and Jigba. That's who I'd go with.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Do that.
But we can make these decisions before Sunday, right?
Well, I mean, we've got other lineups, so
Right.
yeah. I mean,
Let's move on.
so we're going ATN.
Oh, wait, we got a question.
Another question.
Maddie, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. To answer Julio's question, yeah, we went Etienne, Smith and Jigba.
Okay, cool. I like it.
All right, here's the question. Sebastian, thank you for the question, Sebastian. Trade Drake London and JKD.
Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins?
JKD.
I was just
He didn't
confirming
Catch up,
for
catch
myself.
up.
He didn't
Yes.
even write JKD.
For Chase and
did.
Blake Corum, I have Kyron as my RB1, so he's just an insurance blanket. So trade London and Dobbins for Chase. So
For Chase
question
and-
number one, this is
And
redraft.
Corum.
Is this redraft number one? Is
I
this
would say
PPR
yes.
number
This-
2? And how big is your league number 3? These are all specific pieces that matter to the dynamic of
We're
a
here
trade.
all night.
And he,
It's just,
and he means to ask those questions in a very nice tone. Ignore the tone that he chose
Oh,
to
I'm sorry, I
use.
didn't mean to be disrespectful to him. But in a,
You kinda
in a,
were.
Yeah, just ignore his
We're
tone.
being
in an answer in a
Focus
vacuum,
on-
sorry, Sebastian, in a vacuum, you make that trade all day and twice on Sunday. Thank you, sir.
Redraft
because
12, man.
you're getting Chase, and that's all that really matters.
I think you're buying low on Chase and selling high on Dobbins.
redraft
Dobbins has
12,
always gotten injured in the last 3 years,
Yeah,
so
take-
eventually
take-
that's going to happen.
You can get Chase for
2 wide
that.
receiver, 1 flex. So wide receivers aren't going to be. Oh, we got another question after that.
Sebastian, make the trade. The answer is yes. Get Chase.
We'll
Yeah,
just let
I
Goins.
agree.
I have that one. I think Jared's agreeing with Goins.
Running Jonathan Mateo. Thank you for the question, Jonathan.
Thank you,
running backs.
Sebastian, for the question. Please like and subscribe.
Brees, Mason, Monty, Braylon, Perrine, Pacheco. Yeah, sorry, man. Amari, Rice,
This is great.
Higgins, Cup, Whittington,
Him reading the questions is making it all worth it.
Q,
I kind of get lost though.
I have no
Kelsey,
idea.
Henry. I'm in a 10-man PPR.
Agrees
First
that
mistake.
a rhythm. I
Would
can't
you stop
understand.
talking? First mistake,
Yeah.
Jonathan, is you're in a 10-man league. You need to grow up. You need to be in a 12-man league.
Again, we
Insulting
But
the,
I love
the
you.
call-
I love
all
you for the
opinions
question.
of Michael Goins are those of Michael
So
Goins
what is
only.
your question? What kind of trade should I make for a wide receiver? Okay, so
That's a fair
in
question.
a 10-man league, got to remember one thing. In shallow leagues, there's one rule
Shallow
and one
league.
rule only. You always want to be on the receiving end of the best player. So
I like this.
Assuming this
some
is a
in-depth trade
redraft
talk here.
format, and please confirm if it's redraft or dynasty.
Or don't.
Or keeper.
Unless he
All of this matters from a contextual standpoint. You can dump players like P. Ryan, Amari, Whittington, Cup, Braylon Allen. I love Braylon, what he's doing, but he's a dynasty. He's a keeper play. He's not a redraft play. So context matters in this case. If you offered up Cup right now, you could get
We're going to add a wrap it up
redraft.
sound.
Okay, so it's redraft.
Jonathan was like, "Thanks, I'm."
He's saying it's like literally regretting it.
I would pair
already
Amari
left the
Cooper.
stream. I'm good.
I would pair Amari Cooper and Cup and try to sell that to somebody for a massive upgrade.
Jonathan, thank you for your answers and your patience.
How long is Cup out? Probably like 5
4
weeks.
weeks.
They're
at
not.
least.
Well, no.
4
They
weeks.
said they're not putting. I think they said they're not putting him on injured
IR.
reserve.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe just short term. Okay. Who's that other guy? Jonathan.
You could get.
Oh,
you
I
could
see.
probably get Malik Neighbors if you put. something
Nobody's
like that
trading
together.
Malik Neighbors.
Cup
I would
with
say-
a non-descriptive return and Amari Cooper.
Again,
This is assuming that the team that you're trading with, you got to make sure they're not competing. If they're 2-0, they're not trading a stud.
Jonathan, remember that Mike made his career off of third grade leagues,
Yeah.
beating up on his cousins.
Sorry, Jonathan. Let me specify. I was never given a proper introduction. Jonathan, Sebastian, Q, and Chaka. I am the owner of
Thank you.
DynastyFootballFactory.com.
I've been waiting for this. Thank you. Okay.
I've owned
Keep going.
DynastyFootballFactory.com for the last 10 years. We have a fantastic staff. It is a premium site. So, yes, you do got to pay a little bit for it. It's
little
not
bit.
redraft, but it is Dynasty. And we do have DFS and redraft content that is under free all access, free content. So, DynastyFootballFactory.com. Take a look.
If you came to the stream for no other reason, that would be the reason to come.
Yeah.
Do y'all rate parlays? Good one. That would be a Matty. And
Rate parlays. I love
Sure,
doing
give
parlays.
us some
Sure.
parlays.
Lay it on,
to
lay it
us.
on us, Jonathan.
Anything gambling degenerate.
Oh yeah, I love
Anything that
losing money
involves
on
losing
football.
money. We're into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you can light it on fire and see who can do it the fastest, we're into that. Town Over says they have the fastest ones. Do you guys get that reference?
Yes.
Shane, or whatever his name.
So
Oh, here we go.
Brees over 4.5. Rasheed 65.5 or 50. Sorry, 66.5.
Ooh, you're
Nico
talking my language. I
Over
love me some prop
74.5.
talk here.
Dobbins over. Interesting.
So
I'll
we
take
used
the-
to do a feature on the show where we did that in the NBA. Remember we would do prop.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll bring back some prop talk, Jonathan, and I'm glad you were the one who introduced it. So let's go. Let's
I'm
start.
taking the over on Dobbins. I'm taking the over on Collins.
Brees. Let's go one by one. Brees over 4.5 receptions.
Yes.
Yes, I vote yes.
I'm gonna go under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because his quarterback has not thrown for over 300 yards in the last 24 starts.
That's crazy.
What does that have to do with throwing to a running back that's going to be
Because
underneath
There's
his-
less opportunity.
He's not throwing the ball.
he's not throwing deep.
Second question
Anyway,
was Rasheed. I'm taking that's Rice over 60. I'm having trouble reading.
They
66
play
and a
Atlanta.
half.
I like that.
I like that one. I'm going to go yes.
Yep. I'll
He's
take
the
that
number.
one.
He's the number one option there.
I like all props for involving Rice overs. Collins over 74.5. Can't
Yes.
see-
Who does Houston play?
Minnesota, I believe.
I would say that's a good one. I'd say that's my most scariest out of all of them
Well,
so
he's
far.
he's hit that every single time.
Correct.
He has.
I feel like it's a Tank Dell week. That's just my opinion. But
And then
All the talk on Dell.
Dobbins over what is the last?
58.5.
Yeah, I think Dobbins over 58.
Brees has gone over 4.5 both games so far. Yeah, they're against it, brother. I'm with Brees.
Gone with Goins
Going
on this
over.
one. You get my
I'm
vote.
with Rasheed. I'm
I
not
like all
with-
of them.
I'm
He
not
wants
with
us
Collins.
to rate the parlay. I think it's a good parlay. I can't see any terrible picks on that.
I mean,
No.
there's an argument to take the over on all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say the math proves that they've all hit
Yeah.
so far. I would think Nico might not have hit in week 1. I can't
Nico's the
remember.
only one of that bunch that makes me nervous.
Nico has hit every single time.
Okay.
He's been
I think
over
all-
120 yards every
So
single
then I
week.
would guess all of those have hit both weeks.
I mean, Nico just needs one
yeah,
catch.
good prop. I like it. Good. Well, thank you for the prop talk, and thank you.
One thing to consider, Jonathan, and I know like this is a good prop, but if Brees averages 4.5 receptions each week, he would have 100 catches over the course of the season as a
Yeah,
running
I
back.
think he will.
Week 1, Brees
That's
Hall.
a lot. That's a lot.
Week 1, Brees Hall got 6 targets. Week 2, he got 8 targets.
What targets don't get catches though? How many catches?
He got 5 and 7 with those
okay.
opportunities.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a good prop.
He's been good so far.
I like it. And I do think he might have over 100 catches
But I
this year.
thought Julio just said he hasn't thrown for over 300 yards all season.
He
It just
hasn't.
means the opportunities aren't there. But clearly, he's gone over.
I'm still going to take the under on the Brees Hall call.
Yeah, okay. I
Still
like
taking it.
Nobody likes you, Jared.
So Garrett Wilson is
get that a
he's
lot.
Garrett Wilson is going to explode in this offense.
I did what?
Okay.
No,
Our
Okay,
last
why?
our last segment of the
I
show
didn't say that.
is Mike. You'll like this one. We pick our favorite play, regardless of salary, regardless of position. Put it on tape. Who is your favorite DFS play of the week? So we can run it back next week. Say, give you credit. We'll let you go first because
I'm winding.
are you ready?
I'm winding.
You're building up. Oh, do we
I'm
have any
winding.
Hold-
Are one viewers looking? Okay,
Well, we just had 5. We must have bored him or something.
Well, your last
This-
answer probably did
right
that.
here. This is what I'm going. This is where I'm going, kids. X-Man.
Kid. Actually, it's Kid.
Kid,
Xavier-
sorry, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy, $6,000 on the road at Atlanta, Sunday night football.
What are you putting us over under on points for Xavier Worthy week 3?
20,
20.
20?
Wow.
How many yards is he going to get?
60 yards, 4 catches, touchdown.
All
Okay,
right.
that's fair. That's fair. I like it. That's an easy line to hit. Okay, Jared, we'll let you.
I'm going to stick with some St. Brown. I think he's going to be one of the highest scoring fantasy point producers in the wide receiver spot this week.
I would have to
close
come
to
up with-
20.
Juice will save you for last.
Okay.
I'm going to go with. Who am I going to put on tape here? I'm going to go with your pick. I'm going to say Bowers. I think Bowers explodes.
I like that.
I think he gets out. I think we're going to have like 11 reception, 100-yard touchdown game. So I'm going to go with Bowers over 20
All right.
fantasy points.
I love it. That's
I stole
almost
that
that's a
from you.
lock.
I wasn't on him until you talked about
Get
it.
that shotgun sound.
Yeah. Oh, you want you?
Bowers, 12 gauge slugs. This is a slug pick.
Okay, Juice. Who's your beast of the week?
He's in our lineup. I'm predicting it right now. Not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns from one George Kittle.
Oh wow.
3 touchdowns
3 touchdowns.
from Kittle?
Kamara when he started counting 3 touchdowns.
Well, we better make sure we keep him in our lineup.
Yeah.
Can I scoot to the other side of the table?
I like
Hold on. That is dependent on Debo being out. Okay.
Okay. If
I'm
Debo
planning
plays-
on Debo not playing.
Then give us B if Debo plays. Who's beast of the week?
I'm going to stick with that game and go with Ayuk.
Okay.
All right. So, Matt, you take the over on Bowers of 44.5 receiving yards?
Yeah, I say that's a pretty easy one. What's his receptions?
They don't have that on this one
Oh.
yet.
I'd take the over.
I
Whatever
see,
it is.
I see him with like a 7, 115, 1 line.
Who, Bowers?
Yeah.
Love it.
All
Okay,
right.
We got one last question before you get out of here.
Flowers or DK?
Goins, we are going to limit your response to
Yeah,
under
go-
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Parker Bledsoe. Parker is a relation to Drew. Let's be kind here.
Hi, Parker.
Okay.
Thank you for your question. I think both of them are great receivers. Flowers seems to get a ton of volume, but I'm going to go DK. I think
Yeah,
DK, I think Miami gets beat up pretty bad this week. I think Seattle lays it on them, and DK will lead that show.
I agree.
So are you guys predicting a big Geno week?
Yes,
Okay.
I do think.
Good,
it'll be
because he's in my season long. He's my quarterback.
I've got him in my keeper league.
Got to also keep in mind here that K9 is going to be most likely out or limited. Zach didn't perform all that awesome last week.
Of
course-
did look good on the passing though.
Of course, Jackson, did what he did. DK still did what he did. I think DK is the play here, no matter how you stack it.
I like it. Go with DK. But Flowers is not a bad option either. Okay, guys. Final thoughts before we wrap up episode 1.
I've given all my thoughts. Now I have to pee really bad.
Okay. Juice.
OU wins their first home.
Zero
SEC
chance
game.
that happens. I
happen.
literally will take all the
Okay,
action.
it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm just saying right now. Anybody who wants to get some Tennessee OU action down and doesn't want OU side of it, just let me know.
I
I'll
don't want to
find-
talk about that right now. He just gave me, my heart just jumped in my chest thinking about that. I'm so nervous about this game.
They get killed. Like we're gonna get drilled. Anyway, with that note, I hope I'm wrong, and I'm gonna hit the button. Do we need?
Good luck to you guys. Appreciate all your love.
Yeah,
Don't
thanks
forget
for all
to
the
like and
questions, guys.
Be
subscribe.
back
Don't forget
next-
to like and subscribe.
Be
please.
back next week. Are we doing it again at this time next week?
Let's do it.
Is this a good time for everybody? I like it. Okay.
Sure. It's our send off.
Our music is like Facts of Life rejected.
It is straight out of the 80s.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, Facts of Life. Now we're gonna not use this one.
See you next week.
Ooh, I was gonna hit the O.